How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody is talking right now about only one thing, the speech that Barack Obama made last night about the whole situation in Afghanistan. And everybody is heralding it as a whole new program, a whole new plan, and he devised a whole new strategy. What new strategy? He devised nothing. All he did was say he's going to put in 30,000 troops, even though the general that he picked himself asked for 40,000 troops. And he became the expert who could somehow figure out better than the general how many troops are required there. Now, do you believe this? Here is a man who had nothing to do with the situation in Afghanistan at all this time that he's been president. He even spoke to the general only once in 90 days. And this is the general he picked out to tell him what to do. It's as if a doctor tells you what to do. Take this medicine, otherwise you'll be in a lot of trouble. Do you think he would have taken 3 months to decide if he wants to listen to the doctor or not, or whether he should take the medicine or not? Would he endanger his own life and decide that his own judgment is more important than the doctor that he chose? This is ridiculous nonsense, because he basically contributed nothing of his own to any idea, and there's no strategy of his own to the situation, and it's an invention just to look like he was contemplating and thinking, and he was not. And the truth of the matter is, it was obvious that he was thinking about nothing because he came up with nothing. He contributed nothing to the situation except for the fact that he's second-guessing the general for reasons that nobody could identify. Let's be honest about it. This was a political speech about his own career, and he pretends that he's concerned about the situation in Afghanistan when he doesn't even relate to the situation in Afghanistan, because he would never have said, if he cares about winning the war in Afghanistan, that we have to win the war, and he never even used the word win. He never used the word terrorism. He doesn't believe in terrorism, and he doesn't believe in winning the war. Otherwise, the proof of the matter is, if you disagree with me, why don't you wonder, why would he give it a precise date about which is the date that we're going to leave Afghanistan and give up the war? Now, do you expect to win a war or a fight with anybody if you tell them in advance how long you're going to stay there, and after that you have to leave no matter what the condition is? Is this the way to win a war? You start a war because you want to win the war, and you leave when you won. And if he thinks we can't win, then he shouldn't be there in the first place. If he thinks he could win, he should leave when we won. It's like telling a person that you're going to go into the marathon and you get involved in the race of the marathon. But everybody else in the marathon is going to win or try to win, but you can't actually try to win. You just want to be in the marathon. And if the marathon is 100 miles long, you tell them in advance, listen, I can only go for 50 miles. And at the end of 50 miles, whether I win or lost, I leave, because that's as long as I could last. I cannot stay for the whole race. This whole race is too long for me, and it's too much trouble, and I can't sit around trying to win races. I just go into races, I do half the job, and I get out. And my limit is 50. 50 miles, everybody else could keep running. It's not my business, I go home. Now, does this make sense to you? Imagine if you were in a Frankfurter eating contest, and everybody eats Frankfurters until they can't eat no more because they're stuck, and that's as long as they could last. But you eat Frankfurters only to a certain amount, and you say in advance, I'm only eating 12 Frankfurters. If you want to eat more, it's up to you. It's none of my business. This is as long as I last, and then I quit. This is how preposterous this whole situation is. The fact of the matter is, he's not trying to win this war, and he's not thinking of winning. How do you win a war if you tell people in advance you're going to get out at a certain time? So all the people, all our enemies have to do is hide for a month and a half or a year and a half, whatever the timetable is, hang around the houses, sleep in foreign kitchens, get out of the country altogether, go to parties and dances, and then when the time is up, here we are, and they take over the country because we left already. The truth of the matter is, this is a political speech, and he only cared about himself. He doesn't care about winning the war. The kids in the battlefield are going to be sacrificing their lives for something that's going to mean nothing, because there's no end in sight, there's no determination, there's no attempt to win, there's no attempt to accomplish anything. It's just his own political ambitions that count to him, and this serves his purposes. It doesn't serve the purpose of this country, and it doesn't serve the purpose of the people who are sacrificing their lives for this country. Their lives are too holy to be played with, and your political ambition should mean nothing compared to them. Then don't have to die because you have to prove a point that you went into a war without a reason, without a purpose, that has no accomplishment in sight, and it's going to end accomplishing nothing. They don't have to die for nothing, and there's no excuse for this war in Afghanistan if this is the way you're going to fight it.